What's up, y'all? Let me just get stuff set up. Let me make sure my audio's fine. Yeah, we should be all right. Let me do that. All right. All right, cool. Bring that down a little bit. All right. Let me make sure that this is indeed public. It is. Cool. So let me actually pull up the Jaguars roster. Also, 1 second. Wanted to turn my other light on real quick. I think that'll look a little bit better. I thought my ring light would be enough. Let me see if this looks better. Yeah, we'll do without the ring light. Sorry about any background noise. It just is what it is. He ain't asleep yet, so. They definitely could use a bit of receiver help, but Christian Kirk, actually not really. Marvin Jones and Christian Kirk are fine. Zay Jones, I think that's probably going to be fine. Evan Ingram at tight end. Yeah, they got some nice little weapons now. Jacksonville does. Could definitely still use some O-line help for sure, though. They're fine at running back. Obviously, they got Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, so they're not needing to go in that direction. Let me just let my cat out real quick. All right. Defensively, they have Arden Key. I was not aware. That'll be kind of fun too, looking at some of these teams' rosters and kind of seeing, how free agency has kind of treated them. Obviously, I kept up with free agency, but with all the different moves, it's kind of hard to remember them all. So we will use this as a good opportunity for that. I got Jeremiah Ledbetter. So they could probably use a 3-4 defensive end, probably. Looks like they're running a 3-4 still. Corner, they seem okay. They could use some more there. Calebon Chason and Josh Allen. They could probably use an edge rusher too to go along with Josh Allen and kind of rotate with Calebon. But definitely offensive line, I think, for Jacksonville would be good. Edge rusher too. They'll probably end up just going Aiden Hutchinson though. They definitely have a need there, and he has said in the past too that he does want to be a 3-4 outside linebacker rather than a hand in the dirt defensive end. So keep that in mind, I guess. So, I mean, I think that it's pretty much understood at this point that It's probably going to be edge, first overall. Most people, including myself, are probably thinking Aiden Hutchinson. He's definitely, in my opinion, the best edge rusher in the class. But for some reason, people are now saying Travon Walker is being rumored. A part of me feels like that's just a gaslight and just kind of a distraction. But who knows, really? You know, teams do weird shit every year. So we'll see. I guess in the meantime, I can talk about the Lions. Take a look at the Lions depth chart. Let me see what Goodell is saying. He's still doing introductions. Okay, fair enough. Goodell's still doing introductions. Let me just send this out to Twitter as well. And I do have a Facebook page as well. Not very active on there, but okay. So let's take a look at oh, they got Cube. That makes sense. That makes sense with it being in Vegas, I guess. That's cool, but let's start the clock now. So let's take a look at Detroit's roster. Of course, Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift at running back is fine. Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Shark. They could definitely use receiver, but none of the receivers are really worth taking it to. Boy, I don't know. Honestly, I might go with Evan Neal or something. I know a lot of people are, saying like Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't see him as valuable as a lot of people seem to. So I don't know. And they definitely seem to have some more O-line issues. They definitely do have need of an edge rusher. I actually like Karlaftis a little bit better than Thibodeau. I actually like David Ojabo better than Thibodeau as well. But we'll see. All right, Jaguars are on the clock. Let's go. I feel like most years we have to wait for like a half hour for a team to actually get on the clock. So I am kind of happy that they just got to it. Definitely appreciate that. Let me do this. Turn that down a little bit. Might occasionally tap in with some of my other football YouTubers and kind of see what they're saying. I got Vach and Lieutenant Dan at Unintentional Grounding kind of pulled up. know. I don't actually know what I really want Jacksonville to do. Like I said, Aiden Hutchinson is definitely the guy. He's probably the best player in this class, to be honest. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'd really say that. Because you got people like Jordan Davis and the two Ohio State receivers. I don't know. But the value of defensive end, it'd be the more flashy pick, obviously. But to be honest, I think Jacksonville's real need is on the offensive line. It's probably going to be Aiden Hutchinson. I know a lot of people are, saying Travon Walker is going to be the number 1 overall pick. I think that would be kind of crazy to me. I just don't personally value him in that way. But I think someone like Evan Neal would actually be better for Jacksonville. But that's just my thoughts on it. Let me do this. Okay, cool. Yeah, and they can really afford to pick whoever they want. Like if they don't feel good about Evan Neal for some reason and they want to go like Akeem Aquanu, Charles Cross would be a little bit weird this early, but I really think the offensive line is the need, and I think Evan Neal is good enough of a player to be considered to be a first round pick, first overall pick rather. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they probably are just going to take Aiden Hutchinson in all seriousness. But I think it might actually be the smarter decision to just go ahead and take the offensive lineman. And I do think that Evan Neal is high profile enough and talented enough to warrant that type of a pick. So I don't know. But who am I? I'm just a YouTuber. Who is after? We got Houston. Houston can pretty much go anywhere. Houston should basically just go best player available, to be honest with you. They need everything. But Houston does goofy shit. So I guess we'll talk about them in a minute because they need practically every position on the board. But I don't know. I really think that Evan Neal really should be the pick for Jacksonville. Like I said, I think it's probably going to be Aiden Hutchinson. I know, like I said, Travon Walker is still being rumored, but I just don't see it personally. And there's not really anybody else I can really think of at the moment. All right, pick is in for Jacksonville. Cool. Let me turn the audio up, at least on. Come on, announce the pick. I'll be saying that a lot throughout this draft. Especially because I don't got a pick until the damn third round. Kind of sucks. But it is what it is. Pick 38 in the third round, too. Jesus. We ain't picking for a minute. It is Travon Walker. I can't really agree with the pick. I'm going to be honest with you. Travon Walker is actually my fifth best edge rusher. I have Thibodeau, David Ajabo, Karlaftis, and Aiden all above him. But I do think he can be a pretty good player. He is a bigger guy, 6'4", about 275 pounds, has a really nice clock pull to him. Does have a good swim and spin move, but he has a tendency to work himself out of the play a little bit. He's kind of raw to me, though, to be honest. I think he definitely needs some development. I honestly had a day 2 grade on him, like talent-wise. I think he needs to learn how to have a better backup plan. I think he needs to squeeze better in the run game, and I think his hands are inconsistent. I think he definitely has the physical traits to be a very good player, but I'm not really a big fan of this first pick. If you were going to go edge, I think that Aiden Hutchinson would definitely have been the better player. If they are looking for a true 3-4 outside linebacker, I know people are scared of David Ajabo's health concerns, but I think he's better as a 3-4 outside linebacker than Travon Walker. I don't know. I think it's a bad call. I honestly think that they should have gone offensive line, to be quite honest with you. But who am I? The Detroit Lions are now on the clock. Well, I guess I should kind of talk about where Travon Walker does kind of fit in. They definitely do have a need at edge. Josh Allen is going to be, a fantastic edge rusher for you. They added Arden Key. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with him. I'm looking at the Jaguars depth chart on ESPN, and they have Arden Key listed as a defensive end, but it's a 3-4 scheme. So that's kind of weird. I don't really see him as like a 3-4 defensive end. So I don't know what they're going to do with Arden. But I assume that Travon Walker is going to rotate in with K'Lavon Chaisson. And I do think he is an immediate upgrade over K'Lavon Chaisson. To be clear, I do think he is better than him. But I just think that Aiden Hutchinson is clearly the better player. And like I said, Travon Walker is my fifth edge rusher. So that's just me. But moving on to Detroit, I kind of talked about them a little bit before. They got pretty good skill positions. They have DeAndre Swift at running back. That seems fine. Mon Ross, St. Brown, DJ Shark, Josh Reynolds. They could use a receiver, but drafting a receiver this early would be kind of I don't know about that. They could definitely use some offensive line help still. They honestly really need an edge rusher too. Honestly, Aiden Hutchinson is still available. I definitely think the Lions should just go ahead and just sprint to the table and take Aiden Hutchinson and laugh at the Jaguars' mistake. That's my opinion. I think Jacksonville made yep, there it is. Aiden Hutchinson to Detroit. Good pick. Fantastic pick. Definitely a better pick than the one the Jaguars just made. It just kind of is what it is. Aiden Hutchinson, about 6'6", about 265 pounds. He does have enough speed to get the job done, but isn't as athletic as some of the other guys in the class. Very disciplined in the run game. He handles read options very well, squeezes. I think he's very strong. He has a very high floor. Solid spin move. Really, really good with his hands. Sets the edge well. Really, really good run defender that also gives you very good value as a pass rusher too. I think that if you put him in as a left end and a 4-3 scheme, which it looks like Detroit is running at the moment, I think he can be a very good player. I think he actually can do some 2-gap things as well. I don't want to really see him as like a 3-4 outside linebacker, even though he said that is something he wants to do because he likes being able to diagnose plays better. But I do think he is better with his hands in the dirt. But I think he is a fantastic player, a very powerful guy, very, very solid technique. And I think Detroit just got an absolute steal. So, fantastic pick for them. And they actually had a bigger need at edge than Jacksonville did. So I definitely think that Aiden was a much better pick than Travon Walker. So talking about the Texans now, because they are now on the clock, we have quite a few needs. Running back, definitely later. Rex Burkhead and Marlon Mack are their running backs. That'll definitely be something they need to work on. They got Brandon Cooks, Nico Collins, and Chris Conley as their receivers. They definitely need to upgrade that. Their offensive line is horrendous. They kind of need everything, to be honest with you. They could go edge as well if they really want to. I think that they should probably just go Evan Neal. But honestly, whoever they feel is the best on their board, I feel like they should just go and get, because the Texans really need everything. So let me go ahead and pull this up. So while I'm talking about one team, I am starting to pull up the depth chart of the next team. So while I'm talking about the Texans, I'm already pulling up the Jets depth chart just so I can have that ready to kind of talk about. Yeah, they need linebacker. The Texans do. They could use edge. They could use a defensive tackle. They could use safety. And they definitely need receiver really bad. Running back. They need a lot, man. They could even go take a quarterback, depending on how they feel about Davis Mills as their future. The Texans pick is in, though. So we will kind of talk about that when we get it. Let's see what we got. Interesting. Looking at Mel Kiper's best available, they have Akeem Ekwonu as the best offensive lineman. That's interesting. I can definitely understand that. He definitely has the highest ceiling. I just prefer Evan Neal because I think his floor is a little bit higher, and I think his ceiling is still really high as well. So that's just my feeling. We're going to announce the pick. I do have the actual draft muted. I have the draft tracker from ESPN's website pulled up as well. But just in case I want to watch anything from the actual broadcast, I do have it pulled up so I can check it out. But I'm not really trying to hear Mel Kiper and them talk, to be quite honest. So that is what that is. Announced the pick already, man. The Texans need everything. They could kind of throw a dart at the board. Like I said, I think it should be Evan Neal, or if they do prefer Akeem Ekwonu or Charles Cross, I could see that. I think Akeem Ekwonu has the highest ceiling. I think he is athletically the most exceptional offensive lineman in the class. Charles Cross, I think, has the best technique, and I think that Evan Neal is the perfect happy medium between them. Really? Derek Stingley? That's very interesting. I was curious to see when Derek Stingley would come off the board. Obviously, a very, very fantastic player. He missed a lot of games with some injuries. That's definitely a concern for him, but very, very good length. He's 6'1", 195 pounds. Absolutely has the speed you're looking for. Uses the sideline very, very well in coverage, is fantastic in man and zone. If you go and look back at his freshman tape, it's some of the best film you'll ever watch for a corner. Very good footwork, great in press coverage, but he's also very good playing off as well. The only thing that is kind of a concern is, like I said, he has had some injuries in the past, but also the motivation is a little bit of a concern too. When LSU had a bad team, he kind of had a hard time game to game being motivated. But I'm hoping that at the NFL level, they can kind of work that out of him. But I do agree with the pick. I think it's a pretty good one. Like I said, the Texans, whoever they seen as the best player on the board, they should just go and get, because they need everything. So, and I do kind of agree with taking Derek Stingley over Sauce. I think Sauce is probably the safer pick, but I think Derek Stingley has definitely the most upside. So now taking a look at the Jets roster, because they are now on the clock. Obviously, they got Zach Wilson, which I think they should stick with him at quarterback. I think he can be a very good player. They got Michael Carter and Tevin Coleman at running back. That seems fine. Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios. I think they'll probably want to upgrade that at some point. They could honestly go offensive line. They could probably upgrade George Fant, maybe with an Evan Neal. They could use edge rusher for sure. They could also use corner. Maybe this is where Sauce goes. I think that's possible. Who's after the Jets? The Giants. That's right. And I may as well just leave the Giants depth chart up for a minute, because they have 2 picks pretty close to each other. Yeah, the Jets could really go a lot of different directions here. If people are really looking at Kyle Hamilton as like a top 5 pick, then sure, I guess they could use a safety. I'm not really looking at him in that way. I think he's probably more somewhere in the teens for me. But they can do what they want to do there. They have Hamza Nazarudine as a will. That's interesting. He can definitely do that. I would let him do some strong safety and will things, but whatever. But I think offensive line would probably be the best bet here for the Jets. Like I said, Evan Neal or whoever their best guy is. To be honest, as just a football fan, having Mekhi Becton and Akeem Ekwonu on the same offensive line does sound fun. Not for a Dolphins fan perspective, that sounds like a headache to deal with. But just from being just as a pure football fan, that does sound very interesting if they were to do that. And the pick is in for the Jets. So, is there anything else I can really... I don't really think they should be going receiver this early. Like I said, they do need one. I just think whoever the Jets' best offensive lineman on their board is, I think they should probably go with that. Whether that be Evan Neal, Akeem Ekwonu, or Charles Cross, whoever that might be on their board. I don't know. They could use a little bit of corner help too. So maybe this is where Sauce Gardner goes. I don't know. Yeah, they could use edge as well. Yeah, could definitely use an edge rusher. Come on. Come on. Give me the pick so I can actually talk about it. Then I can get on to the Giants. Yeah. Jets and Giants have been pretty awful for a while. Jets War Room definitely seems excited. Hilarious that when the Jets pick comes in, a plane flies by my house. Come on, man. Quarterback would be hilarious. Sauce Gardner. Okay. So I was just kind of talking about this with Derek Stingley. I think Sauce Gardner is probably the safer of the two corners, but I do think that Derek has the higher ceiling. But Sauce Gardner is a very good player. He's 6'3" and 200 pounds, so very, very good length. Very competitive and confident player. Great in press coverage. He can be a little bit grabby at times, but that's okay. Footwork is okay, but could be a bit better. I would like to see him improve as a tackler a little bit, but that's just kind of corners. But very smooth hips, solid in zone, but I definitely think he makes babies more so in man coverage, especially in press man where he can be physical. Very, very good instincts, great acceleration. He stays competitive no matter what the situation is, whether they're getting blown out, whether they're blowing somebody out. He's always staying competitive no matter what. And I really, really like him. Now, one thing you are going to have to look out for is he will definitely get you some penalties, so that is something that's going to have to be ironed out. But I do really, really like him a lot. So shout out to the Jets with a good pick. Let me pull up. So now the Giants are on the clock. Let's take a look. They could definitely improve their offensive line. Kenny Galladay, Sterling, Shepard, Kadarius Toney. Definitely going to want to improve the receiving core at some point, probably. Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. That seems fine. Quincy Roche, Azeez Ojulari. That's kind of tough on edge. They could probably use an edge rusher. Definitely use some corner help. Yeah, Giants kind of all over the place, to be quite honest with you. I think offensive line is probably their biggest need, though. And Evan Neal, Akeem Ekwonu, they're all right there. They have their pick of the litter. Whichever one that they end up liking best, I guess. They're all sitting right there for the picking. So definitely interested in seeing what they do here. Obviously, still got people like George Karlaftis, Kayvon Thibodeau, if they want to go that route. Jermaine Johnson, I guess, is being hyped up to that point. David Ajabo, who's probably going to go a little bit later because of the injuries. But I think whoever they feel is their best offensive lineman, I think they should probably go with that. Whether it be Evan Neal, Akeem Ekwonu, or Charles Cross, I think all three of them would be a good pick. If they're trying to power run still, then probably Akeem or Evan Neal would probably be better than Charles. I think Charles, you kind of want him to go to like more of a pass-happy team. But we'll see. Whoever the Giants think is best, It'll be interesting, too, to see where the first quarterback goes. I don't think it'll be the Giants. I think they'll probably stick with Daniel Jones, at least for another year. Could be the Panthers. Could be the Falcons. Could be the Seahawks. Washington, maybe, depending on how they feel about Carson. But and also which one, if it's going to be Matt Corral, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, or something random like Sam Howell or something. Carson Strong. Something just weird off the wall. Carson Strong ends up being the first quarterback off the off the board. I might laugh a little bit, to be fair. But kind of sucks not having a pick. I'm not going to lie to you. Pick is in for the Giants. And they do almost have back-to-back picks here. So really, there's 3 really good offensive linemen here. They might just want to double dip and get 2 of them. If they like Evan Neal, take Evan Neal right now. And then even if Carolina does take an offensive lineman, you still have either Charles Cross or Akeem or whatever. If you want to take Akeem now, whatever the case may be, you can still get 2 of the top offensive linemen in the class. So, I don't know. Or they could go like Kayvon Thibodeau or something. Or like fucking like Boye Mafe. Something off the wall. But I definitely think it should be offensive line. All right. All right. Come on. Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm not gonna hold you though. So I guess I could talk about Kayvon a little bit here. I said this might happen. So he's an interesting player. I think he's very raw. He's 6'5" and 258 pounds, and definitely has the burst, length, power, all the athletic traits that you want. But I think he's very, very raw. I think he doesn't rush with much of a plan at all. He needs to squeeze better in the run game. He has a tendency to work himself out of position sometimes. He tends to run down the middle of people. He does have a decent straight arm, which is nice. He gets his hands inside, but he doesn't really know what to do with them once they get there. I really want to see him learn to be able to defeat those hands more consistently. Once he's blocked, he's kind of done. He just kind of relies on his athletic talent. He definitely has a very high ceiling because he has all the physical traits you could want. But it's just not really all there for him right now. But he's definitely going to be more of a project player. Also, I'm like 40 minutes in and there's nobody in here. I don't know if I'm gonna do this whole first round. I might try tomorrow when we actually have picks. I don't know. We'll get through this Panthers pick, though. I'll go until the second Giants pick, and if it doesn't pick up, I'll probably call the stream and just watch it on my own. So the Panthers, yeah, they could go quarterback here, depending on what they want to do with Sam Darnold. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Rashard Higgins, I think that's probably fine. Could definitely use some offensive line help. They got Cameron Irving starting left tackle. They could definitely use a tackle, and there's all of them available. Edge rusher seems fine. They could use an upgrade there. Brian Burns is fine, but Gross Matos is a good player, but I think they could have a bit of an upgrade there. But I think offensive line, or if they want to go quarterback, I guess I could see that. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to call the stream. I'll probably do it again tomorrow when we actually have picks. I know it's kind of hard because my channel is built as a Dolphins channel primarily, and we don't have any picks today, so it is what it is. I wasn't sure what the viewership was going to be even like. I wasn't even sure if I was even going to do it this year, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it. So anyway, that's gonna be it for this. If you liked it, I appreciate hitting that like button if you're watching it afterwards. If you have any questions or comments in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.